Welcome to the deep dive. Today, well, you could say we're strapping on some scrubs and
Right.
diving headfirst into the world of emergency medicine.
Oh, I like that.
A world where time is quite literally life.
That's true.
And those split-second decisions, they can make all the difference.
Yeah.
Think you can handle the pressure?
Oh, it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
Right.
Forget those dramatic heroics, of those TV medical dramas.
Yeah.
Real emergency medicine, it's all about preparation, rigorous training, and the level of teamwork. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you need a lot of teamwork.
It would make a synchronized swimming team jealous.
Okay, so maybe no synchronized swimming.
Right.
But you got to admit, there's a certain rhythm to a well-run ER.
Here is.
So for this deep dive, we've got research articles,
Uh-huh.
first-hand accounts from ER staff, and even a breakdown of a real-life mass casualty event that really put one hospital to the test. So buckle up, because things are about to get intense.
Yeah. Imagine this. You're in a level 1 trauma center.
Okay.
The kind that is, they're equipped to handle those absolute worst-case scenarios.
The worst of the worst.
The worst of the worst, and you're not dealing with a handful of patients. You're dealing with a staggering 356,000 a year.
Oh, whoa, hold on.
That's almost 1,000 people walking.
356,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's like a small city.
Walking or being wheeled through those doors every single day.
1,000 people every day.
Yeah.
Wow.
The sheer volume is mind-boggling.
Okay, I can already feel the adrenaline pumping.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get too overwhelmed, let's focus on this one specific mass casualty incident. What happened? What makes it so significant for our deep dive?
This wasn't just any ER visit. We're talking about a multi-vehicle collision.
Oh, wow.
On a busy interstate.
Oh, no.
Resulting in 8 patients with a whole range of injury.
8 patients.
8 patients, yeah. And what makes this so fascinating is how it highlights the concept of the golden hour.
Okay.
That critical window of time.
Right after a traumatic injury.
Right after a traumatic injury, where timely intervention can dramatically increase those chances of survival.
The golden hour. I've heard of that. But let's make this real for our listener. Paint a picture of what happens from the moment that first frantic call comes in to the ER.
The moment that call comes in, it's like a well-rehearsed orchestra hitting that first powerful chord.
Oh, wow.
Nurses are clearing trauma bays. Doctors are being paged.
It's all hands on deck.
Respiratory therapists are on standby. And the entire ER shifts into this state of controlled chaos. Everyone knows their role, and every second counts.
And while all of this is happening inside the hospital, you've got paramedics on the scene facing the immediate aftermath of the accident. They're not just transporting patients. They're the first line of defense, aren't they?
Absolutely. Those paramedics are the eyes and ears of the ER team.
Yeah.
They're providing that crucial information about each patient's condition and the initial steps they've taken.
Yeah.
In our source material, one paramedic described the scene. 34-year-old male.
Okay.
Ejected from his vehicle, multiple traumatic injuries, blood pressure plummeting, struggling to breathe. It's those details that allow the ER team to anticipate needs and prepare for what's coming through those doors.
Wow. And that's just one patient out of 8.
Yeah.
Talk about a pressure. So we've got this incredible team and this ticking clock. What systems are in place to make sure everything runs smoothly when multiple trauma patients arrive almost simultaneously?
That's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
It's less about individual heroics and more about the finely tuned system that kicks in.
It's a system.
A system that relies on meticulous planning,
Yeah.
rigorous drills, and constantly refining protocols.
Wow.
It's not just about saving lives, it's about saving as many lives as possible, even when resources are stretched thin.
Okay, you've totally sold me on the importance of systems in emergency medicine.
Yeah.
But before we dive into, the nuts and bolts of those protocols,
Yeah.
let's zoom in on the human element here. We've got nurses,
Yeah.
we've got doctors,
We do.
paramedics, respiratory therapists. I mean, it takes a village to run an ER, right?
You could say that. It's more like a highly specialized, intensely coordinated village
Okay.
where everyone has a crucial role to play.
Everyone's got their job.
Think of it like a pit crew
Okay.
for a Formula One race.
Oh, okay.
Each person has their area of expertise,
All right.
and they move with incredible speed and precision to get the job done.
I love that analogy. So let's break down those roles, starting with the nurses.
Okay.
What makes their job so essential in this high-pressure environment?
Nurses are the backbone of the ER. They're often the first point of contact for patients,
Okay.
triaging them, assessing their condition, and starting that initial care.
They're right there on the front lines.
In a mass casualty event, they're the ones making those first critical decisions about who needs immediate attention.
So they're not just like taking temperatures and handing out ice packs.
You know?
They're making life or death calls on the fly.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of responsibility.
They're the ultimate multitaskers.
Yeah,
Juggling a million things at once while remaining calm and collected.
you have to.
And their role, it extends far beyond bedside care. They're communicating with doctors,
Right.
updating families,
Right.
managing medications,
Oh.
coordinating with other departments. I mean, they keep the entire ER running smoothly.
Okay, I'm starting to understand why they say nurses run the world.
Huh.
What about the doctors? What sets their role apart in this chaotic environment?
The doctors bring that deep medical knowledge to the table. They're the ones diagnosing and treating patients, making those critical decisions based on, years of training and expertise.
Right.
In a situation like this mass casualty event, they're also leading the team, making sure everyone is on the same page and working towards that same goal, saving lives.
So it's not just about like individual brilliance.
No.
It's about leadership,
Yeah.
clear communication, and making sure everyone is working together seamlessly.
That's right.
You've talked about the nurses and doctors, but let's not forget the paramedics, right?
Right.
They're out there on the front lines dealing with the immediate aftermath of these accidents.
They are.
What kind of skills and mindset do you need to excel in that role?
Paramedics are a special breed. They're dealing with these unpredictable environments, making those split-second decisions that can literally mean the difference between life and death. Their ability to assess a situation, provide that crucial initial care, and relay vital information to the ER team. Oh, it's absolutely essential.
So they're like the first responders
Yes.
of the medical world, the ones who rush in when everyone else is running away.
That's a great way to put it.
And they're often working with limited resources
Yeah.
and in less than ideal conditions, right?
Exactly.
That's got to be tough.
They're often working in chaotic and unpredictable environments,
Right.
making those split-second decisions that can impact a patient's outcome.
Wow.
That takes a special kind of courage and resilience. And we
Wow.
can't forget the respiratory therapists.
Okay, yeah.
They might not always be in the spotlight,
Right.
but their role is critical, especially in trauma cases.
Okay, respiratory therapist, tell me more.
Yeah.
What makes their expertise so vital in these situations?
They're the airway whisperers.
Airway whisperers.
The ones who ensure patients are breathing properly,
Okay.
especially when there are, chest injuries or any compromise to that respiratory system.
Mhm.
They manage ventilators, they administer oxygen, and quite literally keep patients breathing.
So they're like the unsung heroes
Yes.
of the ER, the ones who make sure the patients can literally breathe easy.
Yes.
It's amazing how all these different roles come together in this synchronized effort to save lives.
It is amazing.
But let's get back to those systems we were talking about.
Yeah.
What's the magic formula?
It's not magic.
Okay.
It's meticulous planning and practice.
Okay.
Hospitals have these incredibly detailed protocols in place for handling mass casualty events.
Right.
Think of it as a playbook, outlining the roles and responsibilities of each team member,
Okay.
step-by-step procedures, communication channels. They've literally thought of everything to bring order to what could easily descend into chaos.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What can you tell us about these protocols? What kind of things are they taking into account?
Well, for starters, they have to prioritize.
Okay.
In a mass casualty event, resources are stretched thin.
Right.
So they use a system called triage,
Okay.
a way of quickly assessing patients
Yeah.
and deciding who needs immediate attention.
Triage. That's where they figure out who gets treated first.
Yeah.
Right? Not necessarily in the order they arrive.
Yeah. Exactly. It's about making those tough calls, doing the most good for the most people, even when that means prioritizing some patients over others. It's a skill honed through years of training and experience.
Right.
Using a standardized system to quickly assess patients based on factors like breathing, circulation, and level of consciousness.
Wow. That sounds incredibly intense.
Yeah.
Having to make those kinds of decisions under pressure. So they're using these standardized assessments
Yes.
to figure out who gets treatment first.
Yes.
What else do these protocols cover?
They think of everything.
Really?
Activating additional resources, coordinating with other hospitals, communicating with the public, and even managing the emotional toll on the staff. These protocols are designed to manage every aspect of the crisis,
Wow.
from the moment that first call comes in to the final patient discharge.
So it's not just about medical procedures. It's
Yeah.
about managing
Hmm?
managing the entire situation,
Yes.
including the human element.
Yes.
And how do they prepare for something as unpredictable as a mass casualty event? I mean, it's not like you can schedule a disaster.
That's where drills and simulations come in. Think of it like a fire drill.
Okay.
But for the ER, they run through various scenarios, practicing their roles, testing their communication, and refining their procedures.
Oh, right.
It's all about building that muscle memory that kicks in when the real deal happens.
So it's like practicing for a game.
Exactly.
The more you rehearse, the better you'll perform under pressure.
Exactly. It's amazing how all these different roles come together in this synchronized effort to save lives. But let's get back to those systems we were talking about. What's the magic formula that allows all these incredibly skilled individuals to work together so effectively?
Right.
It's not magic.
Yeah.
It's meticulous planning and practice.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture. It's not just about having a great team. It's about having the right systems in place to support them, to guide them, and to help them make the best decisions possible in the most challenging of circumstances. I'm really starting to appreciate the complexity of it all.
And that complexity, it doesn't stop there.
Right.
These protocols, they're constantly evolving,
Right.
adapting to new technologies, new challenges,
Right.
and the lessons learned from each and every case.
So it's a constant learning process.
Yes.
A never-ending quest to improve and refine the way they handle these critical situations.
Exactly. And remember,
Yeah.
while we focused on a specific mass casualty event,
Right.
the principles we've discussed, they apply to every single patient who walks through those ER doors every single day.
Every single day.
Yeah.
Every minute counts.
Yes.
And every interaction is an opportunity to make a difference.
Yes.
Okay, I'm getting a real sense of the organized chaos that is a mass casualty event. We've got this expert team, these meticulously crafted protocols.
Right.
But let's get specific. How do those protocols actually play out in the heat of the moment?
Well, remember that 34-year-old patient ejected from his vehicle.
Yeah.
Multiple injuries, blood pressure tanking, struggling to breathe.
Right.
He's a prime example of why those protocols are so crucial.
Okay, walk me through it. Let's say I'm that patient arriving at the ER.
Okay.
What happens next?
The paramedics, they've already radioed ahead. So the ER team, they know what to expect.
Correct.
They've initiated that basic life support, but time is of the essence. As soon as you arrive, you're whisked into a trauma bay.
Right.
Where the triage process, it really kicks in.
So this is where they decide how critical my condition is and where I fit into, like, the pecking order, right?
Exactly. And they don't just eyeball it. They use a standardized system.
Okay.
One example is the simple triage and rapid treatment, or START method.
START. Okay, that sounds serious. What's the logic behind it?
It's all about speed and efficiency. They quickly assess your breathing, your circulation, and mental status. Can you walk? Are you breathing on your own?
Right.
Are you responsive? Those answers, they determine your priority level.
So if I'm unconscious and bleeding profusely,
Yeah.
I'm guessing I'm skipping to the front of the line.
You got it. You'd be classified as immediate, meaning you need life-saving interventions like within minutes. But let's say you're breathing, you have a pulse, but you can't walk. You'd be classified as delayed, meaning you need treatment but can wait a bit longer.
It's incredible how they make those calls so quickly under such pressure. I guess that's where all those drills and simulations really pay off.
Absolutely. They practice these scenarios over and over so that when the real deal happens, it's almost second nature.
Wow.
But it's not just about those individual skills.
Right.
The protocols also dictate how teams communicate and coordinate.
So it's like a well choreographed dance.
Yeah.
Where everyone knows their steps.
Right.
And how they fit into the bigger picture.
Precisely. The source material highlighted a drill scenario where the communication system went down.
Oh, no.
During a simulated mass casualty event, it threw everyone into a loop.
Yeah.
Highlighting the importance of backup systems.
Right.
And clear communication protocols.
A communication breakdown during a real event.
Yeah.
That could be catastrophic.
Exactly. That's why hospitals, they constantly evaluate and refine their protocols.
Right.
It's a never-ending process of learning and improvement.
So it's not just about having a plan.
No.
It's about about testing that plan,
Right.
finding the weak spots,
Yes.
and making sure it holds up under the most extreme pressure.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And remember,
Yeah.
this mass casualty event, it's just one example.
Yeah.
These systems and protocols, they're in place for every patient
Right.
who comes through those ER doors.
Every single day.
Every single day.
Well, this deep dive has been a real eye-opener. I had no idea how much goes on behind the scenes in emergency medicine. It's a whole other world
It is.
of coordinated chaos,
Yeah,
expert teamwork,
right.
and a relentless drive to save lives.
It truly is. And for our listeners, I challenge you to think about the systems that support you in your own life.
Oh,
Whether it's your workplace, your community, or even your family, what structures are in place to ensure things run smoothly, especially under pressure?
that's a great thought to leave our listeners with. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of emergency medicine.
The pleasure was all mine.
It's been an eye-opening journey.
Until next time.